Welcome back, episode 20 of the Recap Room podcast. I am joined here to my left by my beautiful co-host Sasha Rajko and my not as beautiful, but also still beautiful co-host Gordy Baba. How are you guys doing today?
I'm great now.
Yeah,
doing great, you know.
I'm sorry, but we were talking about this earlier. You were saying earlier, actually, you were like, the way to get the best, I don't need positive reinforcement. I kind of like it the opposite. You know what? I disagree with that. I think you like positive reinforcement. You just don't know it. Look how your eyes just blew up and that smile right now. You're just like ready to go now.
I didn't get positive reinforcement.
Yeah. I think it's opposite. I think Gordy's the one that needs negative reinforcement. It fuels him a little bit more.
Treat me like a dog.
Yeah, like the dog you are. You are a dog.
I do. I'm begging for scraps every day in this group.
Yeah. He even barks at women when he sees them.
He does.
He even barks at them.
Only sometimes.
It depends on who
I
they
barked
are.
at Sasha many times.
He does that when he's angry or happy. It's kind of tough to know exactly how he's feeling.
It's just his own language over there.
It is.
Sometimes.
I live in my own world.
Gordy beats.
It's Gordy's world. We're just living in it.
He beats to his own drum, as they say.
Yeah.
He beats to his own.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, though.
That has nothing to do with any of this, but I do like that saying.
Okay.
But this episode 20, I don't know what exactly it's going to be titled, but it'll be something along the gist of what we're going to talk about today, and that is, as crazy as it sounds, by the time this episode's released, we're getting down to the wire of 2024, entering into 2025, and I want to talk a little bit about what we think the market's going to look like, and, sorry, there's an ambulance going by. I'm just going to let that pass.
That was loud.
That was loud.
Yeah.
I felt like that was loud for like a solid 5 minutes.
Hopefully that was something really important because it just disrupted our podcast.
It was. Someone looked at me and they literally had a heart attack because they were like, "He's so beautiful."
That's how I feel every time I
That
look
was
to
a
my
good one.
Every time I look to my left, that's how
By the way, I don't want to hear it because
I'm so scared.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
I've had enough.
He's had enough.
No. I was so on the best behavior at her birthday.
That is true. I heard really good things about your behavior this weekend.
I was positively reinforcing
You were working
myself.
hard, and then towards the end of the night, you got to let loose.
Yes. Gordy came to my birthday dinner. He was the star of the show.
No,
honestly.
I was not.
He literally took the spotlight
No, I
away.
love that.
I'm kidding.
I did not. I sat there. I was just being a good boy.
But actually, it made me very happy that he came. Michael was out of town, so he couldn't come.
I'm on the shit list.
He is on the shit list. And
But we're celebrating tonight.
I'll get over it in about a month.
We're celebrating tonight, just us three at
yeah, I'm gonna see how much food I can
dinner.
eat. I'm gonna see if I can eat the most food in a restaurant. I'm not even kidding.
I bet you
Actually,
can.
you know what? This is so off topic, but when we were at the restaurant, I ordered food for like everyone, like just shareable.
Yeah.
I had a big group. And Gordy was like, no, everyone else eat first. I was like, Gordy, eat. There's so much food.
Aw.
But he's being
so
polite.
I was like, people were done eating. There was like so much beef, and I just kept eating it. And I was looking to see if people noticed, because no one was eating. I was just like, oh, bread, beef, more bread and beef.
Back to what we said. Gordy's a dog.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And that's exactly what he means.
No, I'm excited. We're gonna have a good dinner tonight. Feeling good.
Feeling good about it. But back to what I was saying before the ambulance decided to disrupt my train of thought.
Oh, yeah, what were we talking
about? Derailed. We were talking about 2025's coming up and talking a little bit about what we think, based on our experience in 2024, what we've seen in the market projecting out into 2025 without having a crystal ball, because none of us do have a crystal ball. And if I did, let the record state that I would not be sitting here on this podcast. I would be out living, sipping pina coladas. Yes, alcoholic pina coladas at that.
Yeah, but who wants to know the future? That's not fun.
It's not fun.
It's not fun.
But the
Sounds
outlook.
so relaxing to know.
You would think, but then it's not, because then your life becomes boring, because if you know what everything is going to happen in your entire life, then you're like, well, what's worth living? But we don't have to go that far.
Okay.
All right. Somebody get us some mushrooms for that conversation, because we're not having that right now.
I just did ayahuasca. I literally did a darkness retreat.
Gordy just did ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers, and now he's coming back talking about
and he
the
did his
fifth
little
dimension.
fake darkness retreat. He was in the dark for a day, and then someone visited him.
All right. And the second part of what I want to talk about is also going into 2025, some areas, I would say suburbs and neighborhoods in the city to look out for that we think are going to be...
I can start with mine. I know mine off the top.
Thank you for letting me know. But
1-1.
Hold it. Remember where you're at with that. And just kind of talking about what we think is going to happen. Because there's obviously I call them the blue chip neighborhoods. You know, the ones that everybody's been on for so long. Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
When has Lincoln Park ever not really been like a place that people want to live?
Yeah.
The West Loop, another
That
one.
was
Maybe
not
not blue
one.
chip, but it's kind
Totally not blue chip.
I know, but everybody knows that's a place that they would want. Like it's
Yeah,
not.
but
really,
it wasn't a thing like not even 10 years ago.
But what's the next West Loop?
What's the next? I
I know
have
it.
an idea.
all
Yeah.
right.
Oh.
Fire away.
Go on.
I think. Well, they just proposed like a $7 billion.
I think something like
Dang,
that.
she
Renovation
just took mine. Dang.
outside of the United Center. So I don't know what is that. It's like Garfield Park.
Yeah.
What else? Like it's near West Loop actually. Like
It's
not
just
far,
to the west of the West
Just
Loop.
to the west of West Loop, and I think that area will be the next new West Loop in the next 10 years.
You think so?
I do. I don't necessarily think it'll be the same kind of vibe or anything. It'll be completely different. I don't even know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we're going to start seeing, I mean, there's going to be a lot more real estate opportunities out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think that will do as that gets more developed over there to the demand and pricing in the West Loop? Do you think there's going to be more and more people that, like, do you think it's going to alleviate some of the crazy prices we've seen in the West Loop because now people are going to have, like, the option between both? Or do you think it's just going to kind of be, you know, one's expensive and the other one's even more expensive?
I don't think it's going to alleviate the prices.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because West Loop is still so new, and just with the things that are in West Loop, like
Right.
the restaurants, like I don't know. I feel like
I would say
it won't.
like Fulton Market will keep West Loop expensive just because people go down there like, wow, I'm gonna have like a Michelin star meal or
that's how I feel
you
about
know?
like Armitage.
Yeah.
Right.
in Lincoln Park.
It's almost like that on steroids.
Yeah,
when
like
you're
that
in the
on
West Loop.
steroids.
Yeah.
But all around there is always expensive, and it's always been expensive, and it's going to stay expensive.
Yeah. What do you think it's going to take for that neighborhood or the next kind of iteration or any other neighborhood that's up and coming to kind of meet the needs and meet the demands of the modern consumer to make that decision to be like, hey, I am going to take that leap? Because right now, I mean, you tell somebody 10 years ago you're living,
In the meat market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15 years ago, they're like, what? I mean, it wasn't like a common thing. There was some here and there, but it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to take for people to get to that next level to want to make that transition and be okay with it?
Well, this is just going off of a very hypothetical that's possible. But the White Sox were thinking about moving their stadium to South Loop and building up an area similar to Wrigleyville. And I think something kind of like that that's what will get people to take that leap and be like, well, I want to be part of it and be like the first people to move in. And that just looking at what Wrigleyville's become in that neighborhood, I mean, it's incredible. Like just the game day experience, but outside of that, they can have concerts, events. They do the Chris Kindle market there. I mean,
Yeah.
so they do a lot there that's for family, for everybody, not
Yeah.
just families
Yeah.
and stuff. So I think something like that.
needs to be concrete in order for people to make that change.
Correct.
It's
Yeah.
not going to be like, oh, I think this neighborhood will look nice
Yeah.
in a couple years. Like, no, there has to be something.
Like
Just
a future plan that comes
a
into
future
place.
plan. Just like, a while back, like Arlington Heights was
Yeah.
going to be that whole Bear Stadium thing. I think that I was like,
Which still might.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. You think?
Well, even if they don't build
Up for
this,
debate. What do you think?
Well-
Do you,
No,
do you
I don't think.
You don't think it's going to happen?
No.
I do think it's gonna
I
happen.
don't
Gordy's
think so.
Gordy's definitive on
Then
that.
my parents should have not sold their house.
I
is
do
what
think
I'm
it's.
saying.
I think it's gonna happen.
Hindsight's 20/20.
I think it's gonna happen.
Monday morning quarterback, as that's a good way to frame it, especially since we're talking about football.
Yeah.
But
No, but I do think like neighborhoods need a big project that's supposed to come into place that can boost up that neighborhood
Right.
in many different ways, not just financially where like property values just go up, but just for tourist attractions too.
you know what and that's, you guys kind of covered it all there. Like, I think that for a neighborhood to thrive for the modern consumer, even if it is in Chicago where you have the downtown, like, until they figure out what the hell's going on Michigan Avenue and the Loop and to get that back, which who knows when that'll happen. I have faith that it will eventually at
You
some
do?
point. I mean, maybe in 100 years, maybe in 50 years. I don't know when.
I don't think
But
we live here.
for the time being, you need, like, each neighborhood has to have its own attractions for like its own lifestyle and almost like, I don't know, almost like own.
It's got to have its own vibe.
Its own
What
vibe
do you-
to it
but
for
like-
people to want to live there.
Yeah.
That's true.
It attracts different kinds of people.
Right.
Like
right.
you know, like, I know it's hilarious. That's like how we used to do like celebrities, which neighborhood, like you could just sense their vibe and which
Yeah.
one they would go to.
People
I
with
mean,
man buns live out in Wicker Park.
for sure. So you're almost there.
Yeah, I for like a few episodes, I was pretty much.
Yeah,
I
you
was.
were.
Yeah, he cut his
my
hair.
spirit was living in Wicker Park, but that's the beauty of me. It's like metamorphosis. I change. I'm a chameleon. I can adapt to my environment. Like I said, I'm whatever you want
He's
me to
fired
be.
right
I'm,
now.
I'm whatever you want me to be. I can be whatever you want me to be.
I do think that you're right about that, but I don't. You know what? Now that I'm like trying to think about it, I guess no. Every neighborhood does have their own vibe, but I wouldn't say everyone has their own attractions. Like what?
Yeah,
what's
I
in
mean,
Streeterville? Am I crazy? Is there
That's true,
something
but I think that it's just. I think it's more the lifestyle in general that
Right,
people prefer,
right.
and you kind of each neighborhood has to have a lifestyle preference that align. Like your lifestyle preference has to align with the neighborhood,
Right.
Because that's why people move.
Like
is-
Michael is definitely a Lakeview guy.
I like.
He's a Lakeview
I'm
guy.
a Lakeview, Lincoln Park guy. I like a little bit more of a neighborhood. I don't need the crazy nightlife. I don't need, if I need to get and go out, I can drive myself to go out and meet Sasha up in the West Loop.
Right.
Leave by, midnight at the absolute latest. So I'm back in bed by, 12:30, 12:45 and get that beauty sleep, which is late for me. Very late for me.
I'm gonna take him out one night and not let. I'm gonna take your keys away.
Oh,
You're gonna have in your
ooh.
phone.
Well-
You're not gonna have Uber or your car to get home.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to take my phone because my keys are on my phone. So I'm not going to have a
Oh,
phone
yeah, I
and keys.
forgot.
That's
It's gonna be
true.
that's going to be
It's like a battery.
test.
You plug in the battery.
Oh my god.
So, Gordy, moving on to you. What do you think? I know Sasha might have
Sorry,
taken
I
yours,
took
but
your one.
that's good. Makes you think harder.
I'm gonna do a suburb one, and
Do a
you'll
suburban
like
one.
this one because you'll be able to talk about it more than me. But I'm gonna say where you bought out in McHenry.
You like McHenry?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That
I
makes
like
me
it.
feel good.
I like it because one, it's close to where I live, but it's like still like it's like 20-ish minutes. But there's just so much area out there that they could build a ton of whatever property. I mean, if it's commercial or if it's residential, like they
Yeah.
can do a ton of stuff out there. And the downtown, like driving down there, it's nice. It's like a cute little town. And I think that's kind of been the shift. Like that's the vibe. Like, all you see like these big malls are all dying, and it's now these like smaller downtowns with like these cute mom and pop shops kind of coming back a little bit.
Yeah.
I think McHenry up and up.
Really?
Up and up.
love that.
I'm just saying.
Really?
I-
I was.
they have the
I'll
water
have to
too.
bring you out there sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, the building is fine. My building's not anything to write home about, but the area, you can always change the building and
Yeah.
like make it look nicer
but
and
you
make
can't
it, but you
change the
can't change
area.
the location.
Yeah.
So,
But no, but I'm serious. Like it kind of is similar to the neighborhood I grew up in a way where like once they built that area up and you start to see like the parks, the schools, they have more of like
Your
a little
area
nice
was
downtown.
already built up.
No, but like before that, it was straight farmland.
yeah.
I mean, it was
Okay.
literally like kind of similar.
Well,
to that.
I was thinking like Wheeling, like just in the last couple of years, Wheeling
Yeah.
has become.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I posted on my story yesterday like that. I just knocked my mics, but like the rent prices in the different suburbs in Chicago, like Wheeling is like up there on par with like Arlington Heights.
Yeah, because they've
Yeah.
been building so well. They
Right.
rebuilt like on, I forgot what road it is.
That
I know,
downtown
like
area
the
is
town center,
Yeah.
Wheeling Town Center.
that was not there when I was in high school.
best
Yeah.
movie theater synergy.
Is it?
Really?
It's unbelievable. They did a really good job with that downtown. They have those apartments. They buy that theater. I forgot what
Yeah.
it's called, but
Yeah, that's all brand new.
it's It's
and
like
they opened a
2
bunch of
years
restaurants.
old.
They're doing the same thing in Buffalo Grove.
Yeah.
Where like
They're
Bolero
trying.
is.
Yeah, that's at Lake Cook in 83.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandma used to live over there.
They're doing a City Works over there
Yeah.
at the IHOP.
Oh my gosh, I saw that.
Yeah, but I
And
don't
a
know.
Lazy
It's gonna,
Dog.
that's going to be tiny because that IHOP was.
And a lazy dog.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry,
I
Lazy
did see
Dog,
that.
not City
So,
Works.
with that being said, do you think 2025 is going to be, let's call it, because I would say, by and large, the last few years have been the years of the suburbs, not the years of the city.
Yeah.
I would say. There's definitely still plenty of demand in the city. A lot of young, I mean, we're a little bit in a different situation because young people traditionally always want to live in the city. Like,
Yeah.
I personally couldn't care less. I kind of like the suburbs. I like the slow-paced life, but I'm an anomaly. Most young people would prefer to be, especially in their.
He's such
you
a
know-
pick-me.
that is not me being a pick-me. I genuinely don't. There's not a lot of things in the city that I really like care
I'm
for
kidding.
that
You're
much.
so pretty.
She said that earlier. Made me feel good. But I would say, like, yeah, most young people would prefer to be in the city. Do you think the 2025 will be more of a year of the city or a year of the suburbs? Kind of like how on the Chinese calendar, it's like the year of the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a bunny.
Are you?
I am
don't
a
know what I
bunny.
am.
Or a rabbit or whatever. I don't know. I really have no idea. And you know what? I think after next week I'll get a better idea, but probably the suburbs.
Yeah.
Just because of just like, there's a couple factors that I'm thinking of right now. I think right now the prices in the city are crazy. Mm-hmm. And I think the leadership in the city is not the greatest. Mm-hmm. And then like just some political motivations, I'd say, are all going to come into play. And I think that they're heightened right now to the point where people are just like, I'm sick of this.
Yeah. Also, some of these suburbs are getting so like, they have so much there that like, you look at some of these people who maybe would buy an in-town condo in the city or live in the city still, but they're like, I don't really need to anymore.
No.
Like my suburb now has all the restaurants.
Right.
Like, yeah, sure, I don't have 8 steakhouses, but I have 2. I could go to one good steakhouse.
Yeah, you don't
I
need 8 steakhouses.
I don't need 8
Right,
different
right.
steakhouses. I'm eating at one.
You have Outback, and then you've got
not Outback, but you know what I mean. Like if
As
you live
long as he has his Texas Roadhouse.
as long as I got a Texas Roadhouse within like a 30-minute radius, I'm a
Yeah.
happy
That's his
man.
favorite. We
No.
should have gone to that we should do that for your birthday.
I would love that.
Texas
That would be
Roadhouse
great.
is great.
Mark that down.
Or
If you're
Longhorn.
watching, mark that
Longhorn
down.
Steakhouse
We're
is
not
really-
going to Longhorn.
What?
We're going to Texas Roadhouse. If we're going to a trashy, I shouldn't say that. Sorry.
Texas Roadhouse is
Texas
not
Road-
trashy.
I apologize. That was rude to Texas Roadhouse. But
Longhorn.
we're going there.
is getting-
I've never had it.
The
Oh,
rolls.
it's so yeah. The,
The
rolls,
rolls
are crazy.
apparently, I
the
hear are
rolls
insane.
are just.
No,
I
but
would-
you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. I didn't think about that, but like, yeah, like all the suburbs now, like kind of have everything that you already have here. I know the vibe is different.
Yeah.
It's the vibe.
But I
But
personally.
and the people.
The people are different.
But
you're
the
going to get more
places
people
are
like
similar.
me.
Like they just opened in like an EMA in Glenview.
Did they?
Really? Yeah.
I didn't even know
I didn't know that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
That's a city restaurant.
Yeah.
Now they have one there.
I'm
Like,
a
it's-
suburbs guy. It's the year of the suburbs.
They opened a Crosby's Kitchen in Niles.
Really? Mm-hmm. No way.
Yeah, I think Niles. Yeah, one of
I
those.
think I
mean,
remember
love
going to that
Crosby's.
place.
Yeah.
one time.
So I mean,
it's in Lakeview.
that's let's put it this way. We see a lot more stuff that's starting in maybe in the city and then expanding to the suburbs and starting in the suburbs and expanding to the city right now.
Right. That's so true.
So I think that's going to be a continued trend.
I think so. I think you're totally right. Mm-hmm. And I think the neighborhoods that are already pretty established, like yours,
Yeah.
like Vernon Hills, Long Grove, Lincolnshire.
Buffalo
A
Grove
lot of
is
those,
gonna be
a lot of
there.
those neighborhoods were already pretty well established, like really, really well kept. But
Yeah.
they're still also continuously renovating.
Right.
Like they're
Yeah.
bringing more. I'm like, wait, I didn't know we could bring more, but like this is
There's
great.
a demand out in the suburbs, and it's
Yeah.
like they're just
Yeah.
working with their demand, and they're just building
Yeah,
more
there
and more.
are more apartments than I've ever seen in the suburbs. I feel like I
Yeah.
grew up and I didn't even notice any.
But there's other
I
factors.
agree. I
Right?
never noticed like
Yeah, but there's other factors to that too. Like I do think the school districts play a huge role in
Oh, for
this.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
Stevenson, for example, in Lincolnshire, is so massive now to a
Yeah.
point where like people specifically move to neighborhoods that just feed into Stevenson. So obviously that's going to
the demand for rental housing in the Chicago suburbs is some of the highest in the country.
It's crazy.
And Chicago in general. I think
Yeah.
it's like Chicago suburbs are like number 1 and Chicago proper is like number 5. So it's like super, super high here because I think the supply is low and just the demand for it is
Right.
pretty high naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I think going into what we can do and how we can be of value to people is by helping them get into the market a lot earlier than they think they can. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of people who don't even realize that they can. There's more that they can afford than they actually probably realize because they just are. Nobody teaches them this stuff.
Well, it's more you just assume like, oh, like I'm only making this amount of money. There's no way I could buy.
There's
a
no way I
house.
could buy something, or there's no way.
Yeah.
But if you do it right, and on top of it, if you're a little bit more flexible, which a lot of people working from home now, like you can be a little bit more flexible on the location. You can be a little bit more flexible on, your quote unquote non-negotiables, and get in the market sooner and avoid what I think over these next 5 years is going to continue to happen, which is we're going to turn. I think this country is turning into a renter country. That's what I think.
You
I think.
think?
Oh yeah, I think we're turning. It's going to be closer and closer to like Europe, where it's going to be a lot more people continuing to rent because people are going to get priced out of buying. So the earlier you can get in, the better off you're probably going to be, because I don't foresee the rent prices coming down anytime soon. I just
Right.
don't. And that goes for both city and suburbs. I think that's just the way.
Well, didn't in the city the mayor literally just said he's
Yeah.
like proposing a bill to raise property
Yeah, I
taxes.
did see that.
Yeah.
And if you look at the past
After
10
he said
years,
that he wouldn't like 3 times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I might get fact check on this, but if you look at the past 10 years, I think they said it's like 155% in like property taxes were raised
Yeah.
in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Property taxes here are
in the city, it's insane.
not even in Cook
Well,
County.
yeah, in Cook County. Yeah.
I grew up in Cook County.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Other side of Buffalo Grove.
Like it's still, yeah, other side of Buffalo Grove is right. But like even it goes all the way to the suburbs. Cook County is huge.
Lake County, I mean,
Lake
Illinois
County.
in general, obviously the property taxes aren't great. But
No.
again, when you rent, there's nothing you can do other than deal with the passed on costs. Because if the owner's property taxes goes up, your rent's going up.
Correct.
That I can promise you.
That's
Right.
where you're right. Where like it is going to get more expensive, because if they're just going to raise property taxes, you're like, oh, it doesn't affect me. I'm renting. Hey, pal, it's going to affect you right away in those rents.
Everything affects everything, right? If
Yeah.
the property tax goes up, your rent goes up. If the electricity bill for the building goes up, your rent's going to go up. If it costs more to get people out there to go fix your sink, your
Yep.
rent's going to go up. Like
Yeah.
all these things have domino effects on what your rent is going to actually be.
True.
And so you have to just weigh for yourself, like if those added costs that you're going to have to absorb are worth it. And for a lot of people, it makes sense to continue to rent for now, because a lot of people that I know, we have a lot of clients that aren't even from Chicago that know they're going to be moving home, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
they're just here to start their career, and then they're moving back to California or Ohio
wherever.
or
Yeah.
wherever they came from. Like, yeah, probably, but like so many of our friends that grew up, like if you grew up in Chicago and you're living in the city and your family still lives in the suburbs, like you should be thinking about buying, because the odds are you're probably going to be here for the
rest of your
foreseeable.
life.
Yeah,
or at least for another 10 years.
at least for the foreseeable
5 to
future.
10, yeah.
Because the reason why people stay isn't because, oh my God, and some people, yeah, like don't get me wrong, Chicago, a lot of great things to offer, but predominantly the reason why people stay is friends, family, lifestyle.
Right.
And so long as your friends, family, and then I would say third on that list would be lifestyle, you're going to be staying put here, and you should be getting a plan and a strategy in place to buy an asset to be,
You're right.
you know, to hold on to through that time.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is the starting. It's
Yeah.
daunting for a lot of people
Yeah, for sure.
because they don't know. But
in 2025, we'll be rolling out Recap University, which we're going to be hosting, I think, probably quarterly, and we're going to create like a very nice put together, like almost like a commercial, rolling it out and getting people to
I didn't
sign
know
up.
that.
That's going to be, we're going to make it, well, it's not going to be on TV, but we're going to put it on social media, obviously, and promote
Is there even nobody even watches TV anymore?
That's
There's no
true.
commercials.
No commercial.
No.
Everybody's on
They
streaming.
just use influencers.
That's true.
We'll just call Taylor up.
it's the year of the influencers.
Maybe we'll get Taylor Swift to promote Recap University.
No, we won't.
Yeah, Gordy hates her. Gordy's like, if we do that, I'm leaving the team.
Get someone else.
Our parents are very like call Taylor up kind of people. If you guys
Yes.
know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
my-
say what you're.
My dad was like, "Wouldn't it be?" What did he say? I was talking with him over dinner, and he's like, "On your podcast, you should get Connor Bedard on your podcast." I'm like, "Yeah, Dad. Let me just shoot Connor a text really quick and see if he's up for jumping on a podcast
Yeah.
on Wednesday morning."
Yeah.
He's
Our
like,
parents think like it's just the technology just allows you to contact anyone.
"Yeah, telepathy."
Like I can call
call Taylor. up.
Taylor
Call Taylor.
Swift up right now.
Yeah, you just DM her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll
And
fly
she'll
a
answer.
private jet here.
She'll gladly do it. That's
She'll
what they
la-
think.
She'll land it on the roof.
Yeah, she'll land on the roof.
No, that my parents probably would be like, well, why won't she help you? She doesn't,
I know.
you know. You know what I'm saying. Anyway.
I get it. That boomer mentality. But
it is.
yeah, that's my 2 cents. But yeah, speaking of that, that's where I think the biggest value add we're going to have is we're going to be rolling out this Recap University here in the next year. We're going to be hosting it in the office. It's going to be, I don't like calling it seminars, because I think seminar is like,
Just a discussion.
boring.
I think like a good like discussion,
It's-
Q&A.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even Q&A maybe for us. Maybe we'll ask you questions.
Yeah.
It's a hangout.
I probably will, because I'll be like, do you know this?
Yeah. It'll be 15 to 20 minutes of us talking, along with any like 15, 20 minutes of us, and then we'll hand it off to like either a lending partner or attorney, anybody who's part of our quote unquote team. And then the rest of it will just be open forum. Like ask any questions that you have about real estate. There's no such thing as a dumb question. And
because I've definitely asked all of them already.
I think we all have.
We do.
And if you're the only dumb thing you could do is not ask the question.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Because if you don't ask it,
Then you do it, and you're like, wait, that was dumb.
and then you
I think it'll be
yeah.
extremely helpful, because I think I was always that one person. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. But I would like go and listen to these things where I'd be like, yeah, I want to learn more about real estate, let's say. And people would start talking, and they'd have the real estate terms in what they were describing. And I'd be
Right.
like, I don't even know what that means, though.
I know.
And then I'd have to Google that word. I'd be like, wait, can you go back and say that whole sentence? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But we're definitely better with, like, catering to, you know, this is real estate. We're trying to explain it to, you know, we knew nothing at one point. So that's what
not that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know what I'm doing.
No, Sasha just likes to discount herself. Sasha knows a lot. She does say it, but she knows a lot more
She
than
definitely
she thinks.
knows a lot.
But
Too much.
what I will say, though, is it's important to have those conversations, and we are going to basically, this is going to be a real estate, like I don't like using the word, but a real estate Q&A seminar, whatever you want to call it.
Therapy session.
Therapy session.
It kind of is.
For somebody who is literally like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
All the way up to somebody who's like, I kind of have an idea. It's probably not going to be meant for somebody who is bought 10 properties before.
Right.
That's what.
But it's nice because there's nothing. We're not asking anything from you. We're just like, just come here, ask questions, because it helps us to realize, okay, well, where are people at in the buying process? Like, what do people want to know? Like, what are stuff that we don't know that they're asking?
Yeah.
Right.
And then we
Thinking.
could create resources to kind of specifically cater to that.
Yeah.
It's really up to, you know, them as to
How it's going to
how
go.
the market moves and everything, and how we move with them.
Right.
You know, we want to cater to you, and that's the only way we
know.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Knowledge is power.
All right.
Yeah, brother.
That's the power of love.
I love it. But
boy.
so yeah, I'm excited to kind of in 2025. Obviously, we talked about the market outlook, some neighborhoods that we're gonna watch out for, some suburbs, and rolling out what I think is gonna be something really, really beneficial for especially the first timers that are looking to get into the market anywhere from in the next few months to the next few years. I don't think there's a time that you could start getting the ball rolling too early. I think the earlier you start having those conversations. I just had a call yesterday with a guy. He's like, I probably am not ready. I don't want to waste your time. They always preface it by saying that. But I'm probably not looking for the next 1 to 2 years. I'm like, dude, great. Like, at least now I know.
Yeah.
I know what questions you have. I know kind of how to position it. And then once it comes time to look, I know exactly what we need to do to get you to that point. But so long, if you just come, you know, the day before, you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. Well, let's take it. We want to take it a little bit slower. We want to take a step back, walk you through the process before, so then you're ready to go when that time comes.
All right. I think we can wrap up here, too.
I think we can. And as always, guys, thank you for listening. Episode 20 in the books.
Love ya.
Love you.